Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the fourth round of Season 18 in Division 2 at the Baku City Circuit, the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. My name is Felix1. I'll be taking you through tonight's action. I'm joined once again by PC Wooly.
Good evening again.
So, another exciting race in store for us there, I hope. A track that definitely produces some very, very good races. Plenty of overtaking opportunities, plenty of possibilities for chaos as well. Of course, we saw it yesterday in Division 3. A very chaotic race, multiple title contenders crashing out from very promising positions as well. We'll see how that turns out today in Division 2. 3 rounds into the season, Gabri, the heavy favorite for the championship, at 60 points. Tied for second are Sean and Bobodinho on 33 each. So it is a big gap that Gabri has over the rest of the field right now. But the season is very, very long. I think UPC really can tell us very well how those early gaps can disappear.
Yeah, I know that.
From
6
last
points
season, of course.
sounds much, but it isn't.
Yeah,
Especially
Sully,
if
I
you
mean,
have
the
one
halfway point was a mile ahead, really.
if you have 1 or 2 bad races, you're missing a few, it's over, basically. If your rival just wins everything. So, it's the same like in real life with Max. So, you overturn, 100 points? And it's a free-way fight in real life, so why not here?
Yeah, you think it's impossible until all of a sudden that gap has disappeared and you don't really understand how. And the same can happen as well in league racing. We've got a 17-car grid assist. Skoloin is still supposed to turn up. We are missing only a handful of drivers. I think the most notable one is Viral, of course, who won the Las Vegas Grand Prix and is actually one of the title contenders in Division 2, which, at least early in the season, he was in P4 before this race. Other than that, we are, we've lost Mihai. He has dropped out of Division 2 to focus on Division 3, he said. Akuzin has taken his main seat at VCAP, moving from Division 3 to Division 2, as he isn't available on Tuesdays anymore and instead can race Wednesdays. Another big name we're missing in this race is Sean, who has had a tough start in the season anyway. And now, well, still, even with a tough start, he was the closest competition to Gabri, tied with Bobodinho. And that is, well, even better chances for Gabri and for Bobodinho and for everyone else to get a foot into this title fight. We are also missing Maxi, who is not racing today, so both McLarens, Maxi and Rival not racing, replaced by Jules Valentine, at least one of the cars. Pocho also not racing, and that's it. Sully has taken the Ferrari as well, so he's replaced Sean. So we've got a very strong lineup at Ferrari once again. I think if you're gonna have to replace Sean with someone, Sully is a very good pick. An all-Italian lineup at Ferrari for today. We'll see if that bodes well for them. Strategy-wise, if there are no safety cars, I would expect a fairly simple one-stop from the medium to the hards. The two-stop strategy around here is not viable, really. Way too long of a pit lane, but I think a safety car is very likely. I mean, I think we all know the dangers of the Baku City Circuit, especially this corner Bobodino is coming up to right now, the castle section. How easy it is to end your race right there, and if you do crash there, it tends to be a safety car. We've got the report that it's going to be an all dry race. Thank you, Bazooka. So no rain on the forecast for either qualifying or the race. The first car who's going to complete a lap here is Bobodinho. He's coming to it's a 1:15.409. Middle selector's got a lot of ES, left 50% here coming onto the last straight. So you can burn quite a bit of battery down towards the line to get that delta down as much as possible and get the best possible banker. Well, that ES does disappear fairly quickly. He's now opened the ES already below 5%. And at 0% coming over the line. That is a 1:39.74, and his Always has crashed out of qualifying. I'm not sure where he actually is on track because I don't see a car stopped anywhere. Has he just retired in the pit lane?
I think pit exit or turn 1. I didn't spot him, unfortunately.
Second lap on the board now. Akuzin a 40.6. Paddock 40.0. And then Lanky Brown over the line with a 40.7.
Aussie is fastest in sector 1 by 4 tenths.
There's Valentine over the line, and he goes third fastest, 40.4. Our championship leader Gabri with a purple middle sector, 15.1. And a lot of ERS, 70% as we come onto the main straight. So it could be a very good banker for Gabri, and I think we're on course for a provisional pole position here. And that is a 38.822, 9/10 clear of Bobodinho. A real statement lap from Gabri, and we'll see if anyone can match that. Sully down to the line. And he's going to put in a 1:40.0. It's only third fastest for the moment. 1.2 seconds off Gabri. The two title rivals from last season, of course. Missing out in the championship in the end. Aussie, third place, 39.9. Quite far apart right now.
I think it's mostly the last sector. In sector 2.
Yeah, I think Gabri saved a lot of his ERS for the final straight, which works very nicely. So that would be then a very good, because you can't really gain much in the final sector in terms of driving ability. It's one corner,
No,
and then you go flat to the line.
2 corners and flat, so...
So yeah, the only thing it can be is either the setup, that he has lower wings, or that he's got more ERS. And either way, he's not doing anything in the final sector where he's gaining the time. He's just using less downforce or less ERS in the corners and still getting the same times, and then of course down the straights the advantage comes in. Flavors goes into 4th position there, a 39.9. It's very close between Flavors and Aussie, 6,000 of a second between those two in P3 and P4 right now. Pigs coming to another lap right now, a 15.9 middle sector. He had a solid race yesterday in Division 3. And we'll see if he can continue that sort of form, or maybe even go one better in Division 2, of course. That is a nice sort of natural advantage of being in multiple divisions. You get to use the earlier ones as practice for the ones that come after, and Pigs goes into P8 at the moment, 40.3. Up next over the line is Aussie, but he comes back to the pit lane. Then it's Gabri also back to the pit lane. Next car is Akuzin, who is slightly up in the first sector, 8,000. Let's see what he's doing in the middle sector. 53,000, so a very small improvement by Akuzin. And we'll see if he has a good final sector. Maybe he has a bit more ES than last time. And I think he has abandoned the lap. So that answers that question. Lanky Brown up by half a second in the first sector alone. Coming to the end of sector 2. So want to keep an eye out for that Kuku as well. And that's a 15.350 middle sector. That is fairly close to Gabri. And Lanky has gone in the wall at turn 15. That could have cost him his lap here. He's still up by 4 tenths anyway. Kuku grabbing a bit of a slipstream from one of the Alpines up ahead of him. And down to the line for the Ferrari driver. He's run out of ERS, no more deployment available for this lap, and it's a 39.131. It's the front row of the grid, but not quite pole position for Kuko.
And again, it's the last sector. It's a 10th. The first, it's there. Always a 10th.
At the moment, I don't think anyone is on a push lap. Unless Lanky's going for another one? Nope, also not slow lap.
Pigs doesn't really, no.
We have got a few cars coming of an outlap here. That is the McLaren of Gilles Valentine, the Williams of Action Rig, and the Mercedes of Pubdog. We're nearing the end of an outlap, so we'll have a look at this group. Pub Dog, the fastest of those guys at the moment, in 7th position. 9,000 behind Sully in 6th, so fairly close in that midfield. But many of these drivers will have ambitions to go a little bit further than that on the grid. As JM is retired from the session. In the pit lane it looks like. I don't see any yellow flags when it's an Aston Martin at least. So that is interesting that both JM and Owise are now out of the session. I think a Ferrari has crashed. Kuko has crashed at turn 15. And he is struggling to get the car. Why is the car not going at all? He's full throttle and the car is barely moving. You can't get the car turned around.
Maybe he's wheel again.
Oh, he's out of fuel, that's why. But how's he wheel spinning out of fuel? That was so weird. That's what confused because he was wheel spinning and the car just wasn't going anywhere. Pub Dog up by 2 tenths in the first sector alone. Jules Valentine up by 1.5. Bobodinho near the overlap as well. Currently in 3rd place, 2nd in the championship. Can he contest against Kuko and Gabri on the front row? It's a big gap to Kuko, 6 tenths, even bigger to Gabri, 9 tenths. So it's a tough ask. But we'll see. Down to the line for Bobodinho, that is a 39.275. Almost half a second found and still stays in 3rd place. But he moves a hell of a lot closer to the guys ahead of him. Pub Dog up by 7 tenths, coming to the end of the lap now. And he's going to give a bit of a tow from his teammate here. And this could help Pub Dog quite a bit. Not the best timing. I think Bazooka gave him a tow to the SS lady, which I'm not sure that really helped Pub Dog too much. But nonetheless, it wouldn't have hurt. Down to the line then, that is a 39.216, that is 3rd position for Pub Dog. The problem is Bazooka has put himself in a bit of a tough spot there, giving a slipstream to his teammate as Pub Dog has to get out the way after turn 1. A bit of dirty air there for Bazooka. But well managed by Pub Dog to get out the way at the first possible opportunity. Gabri on another push one at the end of the first sector. He is up by a full 10th already. He's already 3 tenths clear of the field and he might go even further clear. Gabri on an absolute flyer of a qualifying session at the moment. We've got Ossie down to the line, but he's 3 seconds down. Then we've got the Aston Martin of Bobodinho in lap. After that, it is Akazin who is slightly up once more, but I think he's abandoned the lap in the middle sector. Yep. And then we've got Gabri.
There's the 3 tenths faster in sector 1.
Gabri still up by just over a tenth. But he went quite aggressive over the inside curb of the final corner. I'm not sure that was too much of a great move. I think that cost him a lot of exit speed. We'll see down towards the line. Do I see a delta on the steering wheel? I don't, unfortunately. Otherwise I could have told you what this lap was going to be. So we'll have to just wait and see as he goes over the line. He's going to finish it, so it looks like it's an improvement. And over the line, that is a 38.655. 1.5 tenths gain for Gabri. He goes even further clear of the rest of the field. Flavors 3.5 tenths up in the middle sector. That could put him out of Barcy into P5. And down to the line as well comes Edwin, both Alpine very close to the end of the lap at the same time, currently 6th and 9th. And Edwin goes into P5. Flavors goes into P5 again, so it's 5 and 6 for Alpine now. But Ossie's up by 4 tenths. And he's going to try and steal that position back off the 2 Alpines. Who else have we got on a push lap right now? No one. It is just Ossie who is finishing up on 1. And then we've got 4 minutes to go.
The fact that Bobodinho is faster than Gabri, pretty much everywhere apart from the last sector, everything. So 6 tenths is the last sector.
6 tenths? I mean, I did see on Gabri's lap.
Bobodinho is faster sector 1 and 2, but not the last.
Yeah, I saw on Gabri's lap as he came through the chicane before the S section, he was at 100% ERS, so he had a lot of ERS to spare, but I think 7/10 it must be both ERS that he's managing more so that he has a lot left at the end, and of course that means he's slower in the first and second and then faster in the last. And I think he also has a much lower wings, which is why he's so fast down that straight.
This one goes 10th.
Kuku with a bit of a moment coming out the castle section. I think he's still going for the push lap though. Currently second place, and he really needs to try and stay in that position because Gabri looks in control of the qualifying. But at least P2 needs to be the aim for Kuku here if he wants to stay in this title fight. 40 thousandths gained in the middle sector. So yeah, nowhere even near sniffing Gabri's lap time. But it will get him further ahead of Papdog, Bobodinho and the rest of the field. But I think he might not even finish it. Looks like he's going to pull the pit lane here. Because he is... Yep, coming to the pit lane is Kuku. Not going to finish this lap. He has enough time now for one more run, I think. And Aussie into the pit lane as well. Of course, the first guy is already out on track, Bobodinho. Starting his lap, and he's already very low in ERS. 50% as he comes over the line. That's a lot of ERS just wasted, I feel like. As Phantom Fox has crashed out in the pit exit, and he stopped on the apex of the first corner, it looks like. Thankfully he ghosted and didn't impact Bobodinho's lap at all. But that was certainly a bit of a shock for Bobodinho, I imagine. Turning into turn 1, all of a sudden there's just a Sauber parked on the apex of the corner. Acquisition timing as well now in the pit lane, can't get back out on time. And the same goes for Aussie. For Bobodinho, this is a crucial lap. It could put him into second position. If he gains only 1.5 tenths, that would put him ahead of Kuko. And he's going to abandon the lap. He wasn't happy with the first sector. Sully retires from the session as well. No more lap from him. He's down in 8th right now. 1.4 seconds off pole. Surely he could have improved on that significantly. Now we've got Lanky starting the final round of qualifying, currently in 11:40.292. 350 kph down towards turn 1. The speeds reached around the streets of Baku were absolutely insane, of course. And there are actually, 6 cars are out of qualifying. There's only 11 cars. Actrix is in the pit lane, Edward is in the pit lane, so there's only 9 cars on track here now at the end of qualifying, which is interesting. Normally you'd see a lot more than that.
Well, 6 cars are out of the race, so I'm surprised, honestly.
Yeah, only half the field really still competing in qualifying here. With the last minute on the clock, the last laps for everyone, the crucial laps that will in the end decide where you start. Track evolution, I think especially in a street like this, can be quite big. So you really need to make that last lap count. Apparently Papdog is up by 8 tenths, but he hasn't even reached the end of his first sector.
Kuko's not gonna make it.
Yep, Kuko went out too late, same goes for Bazooka. And Bazooka wasn't even close to the line.
Lanky fast in sector 2 by 5 tenths.
And Lanky coming down towards the line now. That is a 39.661. It's enough for P7 for the moment. Jills Valentine is coming down to the line. Pix is coming down to the line. And Papdog is coming down to the line. No, that's Bazooka's AI, never mind. So Pix next across the line, and then it's Jills Valentine. Pix currently in 12th, and he's gonna jump into P12. Stays where he was. Jills Valentine, does he improve position? Yes, he does. P9, he jumps ahead of Sully. Next car, now it's Papdog. But he is slightly down in the middle sector, so we're unlikely to see an improvement, or if you do, it's not a big one. Yellow flags for Bobodinho. No improvement by Papdog, 2,000s down his previous best. Bobodinho, no improvement coming there.
Get P4.
Gabri once again up by 2.5 tenths. Flavors down by 6 tenths, no improvement coming there. So Gabri is the last one, still an improvement. Pole position has already gone his way. And he's gonna improve in that lap time even more. Put his stamp on this qualifying session even more. I mean, even his bank cap would have been enough for pole. But at the end of the qualifying, he's gonna improve to a 1:38.333. And that puts him almost 8 tenths clear of Kuko in second place. Then Pubdog less than a tenth behind Kuko in third, with Borodinho half a tenth behind that in fourth. Then we've got Flavors rounding out top 5, followed by Ossie, pretty much exactly a tenth behind him, with Lanky in 7th place, only 9 thousandths behind, and only 30 thousandths to Edwin, with Jills Valentine in 9th, and Sully rounding out the top 10. A disappointing qualifying there. Akuzin in 11th, followed by his teammate Pix in 12th. Then Bazooka in 13th, and finally Action make the last round with a lap time in P14. Phantom, Always, and GM in 15th, 16th, and 17th without a lap time.
I thought it's going to be closer. Not 8 tenths between 1 and 2.
That is a real statement from Gabri. I mean, he's already so far clear in a championship fight. And now with a lap time like that, I mean, that really does make him, I think, the huge favorite for the race win. And, I mean, if he gets another 25 points, it is going to become quite difficult to catch him.
But apart from that, the midfield is bloody close.
It's unbelievably close. I mean, it's second from Kuko to Akuzin, and then it's almost the same gap again to Gabri.
It's crazy.
But especially at a track like this, the race very much is not won in qualifying. So this is still absolutely anyone's race. I mean, even in terms of just race pace, I could very much see someone staying with Gabri in DRS range, and then everything is possible. But outside of that as well, I mean, the possibility for chaos, for calamity, for disaster on a street track like this, especially at this particular street track, which I think is, I would say Baku is the especially on the F1 game, the most difficult one. I think Baku is the most difficult track on the entire game.
Oh, I don't.
At least that's what I always felt like. Monaco feels. It's either Monaco or Baku. There's no other option really for me. But Monaco
Honestly,
just feels a bit more natural.
Personally, I think it's Singapore actually sometimes, because it's so long.
Yeah, but Baku is almost the same. I guess like 90% of the track is just straight, so you can't do much wrong there. But
it's the thing.
Yeah.
Do you have basically one?
It's really just turn 15 and the castle. Which,
yeah,
but those two are so silly and so
straight.
Those two corners are just so incredibly difficult, and I mean also that's more for lap time then. Difficult to get them right, but you can't really crash. Well, you can, but it's not like more of a crash possibility than other street tracks on all the 90-degree corners. But they are also quite tricky to get right for the optimal qualifying lap or even just race pace. But the really treacherous ones, of course, are that, well, fourth to last corner technically, I think, since the S section is corners, but the second to last braking zone, turn 15, and, of course, the tightest spot on the Formula 1 calendar, the castle section, has claimed many a driver. And we've got 17 cars on this grid. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a few of them crash out at those two corners.
Ready to start the race as the cars take their positions on the grid.
Mostly mediums. We've got a couple of hard runners down towards the back of the grid. And now the drivers can line up for the race start. Gabri takes pole position on the racing line on the right hand side. Kuko lines up alongside. He has the inside line for the first corner, but he's on the dirty side. Behind them, the Mercedes of Pubdog. We'll see who leads out of turn 1. We'll see who lead into turn 3 as well. Of course, there is a big straight coming right after the start. And here we are then, on the grid, ready for race start. The private lights are on, and it's lights out. No, it's not. Oh my goodness, now it's lights out. Kuko
No.
and Bobbardino with drive-through penalties. And they caught me off guard as well. Gabriel with a great start, and there's contact behind. It's one of the Alpines. Edwin going way deep, and more contact there. I think that was Ossie and Lanky Brown, who thankfully both got out unscathed. But there's more contact at the back, and that is Sully with, I think, an Aston Martin JM going to the back of him. What a start this is, and Sully all the way down to P16, side by side now with Action Rig. Oh, sorry, with Always. And there's a crash. Always goes in the wall, has big wing damage. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, of course, Bobbardino and Kuka have taken the
Sully
lead.
again, touch by Action Rig.
And Sully's round. And as I was saying, the lead, of course, going to Bobbardino and Kuka, but they have drive-through penalties to serve. Their race has gone up in flames already. They just need to try and get those penalties served as early as possible. Go in this lap and hope for a safety car to bring him back into the fight. Gabriel, the effective leader of the race still. And there was a crash somewhere. I heard someone going on the wall. But I can't see who. Someone definitely went into a wall heavily near the castle section. So our current top 3 effectively are Gabri, Papdog and then Flavors. Great start by Lanky, up into 6th. Essentially up into P4 from 7th on the grid.
Hands on lap 1, who would have thought?
But Papdog is sticking very close to the back of Gabri now. A little bit less ERS, but not crazy amounts less. So Papdog genuinely has good pace, and we've got a yellow flag at the last corners, but there's nothing here. But Papdog has maybe a run. Kuko in the pit lane already stopped the drive-through. Bobbardino still staying out. So Bobbardino doesn't want to get into any traffic maybe. But I think the right call is to serve that penalty immediately. Because if there's no safety car, Bobbardino will be kicking himself. And Kuko is not really going to come out in much traffic at all. He's, he's close to Action Rig, but that's it. Once he gets past Action Rig, he'll be back in clean air. Always in the pit lane as well to get the wing change, the damage in the first lap. Oh, Papdog has got in the back of Gabri. And here comes Flavors now. Is he going to take advantage of that? Had a little look to the outside, but that's a bit too ambitious, and he has to back out. But Gabri definitely looking as dominant as he did in qualifying. He's being kept honest here by the rest of the field. Bobbardino, of course, far in the lead.
Low on fuel apparently, so it's just usual stuff.
Yeah, minus 0.24. He's underfilled the car by a quarter of a lap.
Same for Lanky.
But that's not honestly. I think they might, even if there's no safety cars, be totally timed with that. I think it's a possible strategy. Now Gabi has got Papdog, as Edwin is making a move on Ossie in the final few corners of Sector 2. Not a place where you usually see it, those flat out left-handers. But Edwin sneaking up the inside, and Ossie sort of waving him through as well. I think not wanting to risk a crash this early on, playing it safe. And Gabi has indeed broken DRS to the rest of the field. Kuko starting his comeback drive. Both Ferraris now stuck behind Action Rig. So they are having a nightmare of a race so far, down in 15th and 16th. Both of them, of course, as Division 2 World Champions, have got a lot higher standards than that. Papdog defends the inside against Flavors, but he's too far back for a no-take anyway. Bobbardino has crashed in the first corner. And he now drops right into the train as well, exactly what he's trying to avoid by staying out longer to the drive-through penalty to get into this exact traffic. He's now gotten himself right into it, with that mistake in the first corner completely on his own, completely unforced. And of course a drive-through penalty still hanging over his head as well, which is not helping whatsoever. He's now battling with Edwin for 5th position on track. Edwin clears on the inside. Phantom has crashed though at the third corner, and that is a virtual safety car. Phantom stopped on the right hand side, and the front left tire is gone. That tells a good story. I imagine he turned in too early for turn 3 and shaved the tire on the apex, on the inside wall. But it's only a virtual safety car.
It's good to catch up a bit, honestly.
Yeah, we get a short breather here. Drivers get a short breather as well.
So, wing damage Alcazin, Bobbardino. Action Rig. I think it's clear.
Oh! Arkusen has crashed! At turn 15, just went straight into the wall. And now there's a full course safety car. Under virtual safety car conditions, Arkusen just didn't brake for the corner, it looked like. And exactly what I thought would happen has happened. Bobolino still has that drive-through penalty from the start, which he now can't serve. He has to serve it after the safety car. And the safety car has brought Kuko back into the fight, exactly as I said. That's why you serve the penalty at the first possible moment. The leaders are staying out, it looks like. Of course, they haven't got much power on yet. Gabri's staying out, at least. I don't think it's a bad idea to stay out, honestly, because the he keeps track position from it. And he's only got 2 laps on those tires, not a lot of time. I'm not sure how much percentage.
2 laps at 18%.
Are the mediums that bad? Then maybe you should have pitted, yeah. Maybe you could have switched to
Bazooka on hard is at 14.
Yeah, maybe you could have switched to a hard strategy then. If tire was that bad. But certainly the guys who pitted now will not be going to the end from here. So it's JM, Bazooka and Gabri who stayed out on the safety car, and they are now 1, 2 and 3.
Mediums.
Yeah, maybe Papdog didn't have 2 hards.
Maybe, but there's one hard.
But yeah, the entire field in the pit under the safety car, apart from Gabri, Bazooka and Jay.
This feels like Sunday with McLaren. Like, could be the wrong decision, honestly. Because yes, he can switch those mediums, but
it could also play in his favor if there's even more safety cars and he has more fresh tires left than everybody else. That's a risk that you, I think, rarely want to take. Never really gambling for more safety cars. Because that's exactly what it is, it's gambling. And you can lose quite big by doing that.
well, on this track it's really possible for a safety car. We saw that after 2 laps, but still it's, I don't know. Last week the 2-stop worked well, so...
I'm still a little bit baffled actually how Arkusen crashed like that. Gonna have to see. I think I actually had him on stream. I just I did expect someone to just slam into a wall, so I wasn't really paying that much attention under the VSC. And I can have a look if I caught it on stream. Yeah, he literally just braked way too late for turn 15.
Yeah, he got to brake.
That is quite something. That's a real shame for Arkusen on his Division 2 debut. Isn't his debut? At least as the main driver. JM is also in the pit lane now. Lap later than everybody else, but he's in. And that drops him down to last place. This also means that from P10 to P15 now we have got these same teams all the way through. Once Bobrino serves his drive-through, it'll be 2 Astons, 2 Williams, 2 Ferraris. So those 3 teams really having a very tough start to this Grand Prix.
JM could end this race on this tire.
Only JM? No one else?
I think.
That 1 lap on the safety car makes a difference, you think?
I think it does, yeah. Especially because the rear just light up on this track.
Normally I'd love to talk about strategy like that, but I've not raced around Baku once this game, so I have got like 0 experience.
I did twice. 100% race.
That's not really...
It was carnage with 3 red flags.
Yeah.
So,
Baku.
yeah.
Checks out.
And the other one was F2 wet with no setups or anything.
So you also have no idea what strategy, because you haven't had a normal 50% league race around here.
No, I didn't.
You're just going off like the numbers you have now. Safety car's been called in as well. Of course, Gabri had great pace before the safety car, so even on the older tires I think he has a chance to hold on to this lead. We'll see how it goes. It's going very slowly. Bunching everybody up. Warming those tires up quite aggressively as well. Stop warming up now. We might be about to see a restart quite early on. Everybody waiting patiently for Gabri to restart this race. The safety car's in the pit lane. He could go at any moment. Still weaving. And now he's gone.
Now he goes.
And that was a great restart by Gabri, because look at that. Bazooka is nowhere near him. Same for Pop Dog. Flavors on the back of Pop Dog though, but I think with the slipstream Pop Dog has in the cars ahead, no chance. Flavors down towards turn 1. Bombardino has been disqualified! What on earth? I'm just going to swap at the Mercedes. The Pop Dog gets past Bazooka. And Bombardino didn't serve the drive-through right when the safety car came in, and the game counted that as the third lap that he didn't serve it. And that is very, very unlucky for him, but another reason I think that he should have just served it the first time around. I don't really get why he didn't just do it immediately.
Sully goes around the outside of OS. How does he? Or the inside? And makes it stick.
And once again, as it was before the safety car, Pop Dog on the back of Gabri, but this time that 3-second gap that Gabri had built up is disappeared, and Pop Dog is on better tires. Bazooka doing a great job of helping out his teammate here. He let him pass in the restart. Oh, well, I'm not sure if he let him pass, but Pop Dog got past, for sure. And now the entire rest of the field is stuck behind Bazooka for the entire lap.
With wing damage, I think.
And Pop Dog already 2 seconds out of the field. Now coming onto the main straight, you would think Flavor's gonna have a go at Bazooka here. Bazooka is definitely holding him up. But of course Bazooka will have EIS used as well, no DRS yet. So it's a pure slipstream overtake if it's gonna be one. And that will be difficult to pull off. Flavors getting closer and closer, is now alongside on the outside down towards turn 1. DRS has been enabled now for the next straight. Is he still gonna go for the move here on the outside line? They are side by side and Flavors can outbrake him, but he goes deep.
Valentine in the touch a bit.
And Flavors has pulled ahead on Bazooka. The problem that he now has, of course, Bazooka's gonna have DRS on him, but I think he's far enough away. Action Rico tires in the pit lane. Lanky with a run on Bazooka. Down towards turn 3. Lanky on the inside line pulls ahead. Both Lanky and Flavors past Bazooka and now released to start chasing after Pop Dog and Gabri once more. But the rest of the field still have to find a way around Bazooka. Austin, Jules Valentine, Pigs, Edwin, Kuko, Sully, Owise and JM. They are all gonna be knocking at the back of that Mercedes and saying, I want to get past. Aussie has a look into the right-hander before the castle, but that's never gonna be a smart move. He's gonna wait for a later opportunity. Bazooka with a bit of mistakes in the castle as well. That will be frustrating for Aussie. No way to get around him here, but he can see Lanky and Flavors disappearing up ahead. And now the DRS is enabled. Pop Dog fairly close to Gabri. I think we might be about to see a lead change here. I'm not sure Gabri's got much of a chance of defending this one. At least down towards turn 1. Maybe he can back at him at turn 3 though. Or even at the end of the lap himself. But Pop Dog will almost certainly take the lead of the race now. Overtake mode engaged, DRS enabled. And Pop Dog rockets past Gabri. Lanky might do the same to Flavors here for third place. Aussie and Jules Valentine both getting past Bazooka. And Jules Valentine tapping the back of Aussie. Hopefully no damage for either car there. And now we've got Pigs knocking the back of Bazooka. Going for a move on the inside line down towards turn 3. And Pigs pulls ahead, another overtake against Bazooka. Only a 3-lap tire difference. Jules Valentine has crashed at turn 3. He tapped the inside barrier with his rear left tire and the car got spun around. Now he's got Sully up his inside there as they lock wheels. Jules Valentine down to 11th, back up to 10th as he gets back past Sully though. Is Sully going to give up on this? He's still there on the inside line into the second part of the chicane. And he muscles his way through. Jules Valentine is not going to back out. They are still side by side, coming into the right-hander for the castle. They bang wheels once again, and Sully has, I think, now pulled ahead, and Jules Valentine surely is not going to send that up the inside. He had a look. I thought he might actually go for it. That would have been one hell of a suicide move.
Pass Bazooka too.
Bazooka has sort of caused a gap, well, not just one, like 5 different gaps in the train. Everybody hovering at pretty much exactly outside 1 second to each other now. Sully staring at the Bazooka, needs to overtake him now to stay with his teammate Kruger, so the Friars can continue to make their way through the field together.
He just got the ES.
And look how much he's closing in now, even without ES. He might actually pass him. Gabri has got like negative wing on the car, it's unbelievable.
0-0.
Kuko down on Edwin. Kuko up the inside, and that's Kuko up into P7. Jules Valentine. Oh, and Sully with the switchback on Jules Valentine through turn 1 and gets back up to 9th. Now Bazooka's got the inside line against Jules Valentine, and they make contact! Jules Valentine is around. As Bazooka was on the inside. Not sure how I judge that one, honestly, I need the replay.
I'd say racing instance. Valentine just turned in like he wasn't there.
Oh, Jules Valentine late on the brakes on the outside line and gets the car stopped just in time before the wall. That was a bit scary as well, the wall coming closer and closer. But he wasn't able to complete the move on JM anyway. Bazooka's now down to dead last to P13. Gabri doing a much better job of holding on those older tires, still running in second place, still in DRS mentioned Pub Dog. As I say that, he's out of DRS mentioned Pub Dog.
Gabri on 50% tires.
The only good news for him here is that the cars behind are 3 seconds back, and I don't think really catching all that much, Lanky and Flavors. So Gabri is at least still on for a second place finish. And I reckon as well that I don't think anyone's going to the end. I just can't see that happening, so I think that the positions will stay roughly the same throughout the race. There won't be any crazy strategies.
Well, the lowest I can see is Cuckoo with 18, the rest I can't, unfortunately.
So maybe. Gabri's in the pit lane now, and Flavors makes the move on Lanky for 3rd, now 2nd place. But 4 seconds back from Pub Dog. Pub Dog in a great spot in this race. Gabri now the undercut against him. And he comes out in P13 in clean air, crucially. Although not too much clean air, he's not that far away from Bazooka. And that could become a problem then if you get stuck behind him. 2 seconds pretty much, 2.5 seconds. So I think the best scenario for him is to of course catch him near the end of the lap, get that DRS, and then he might even gain time. If he catches him at the right moment, but then he's not too far away from Jules Valentine, which is of course traffic as well. So yeah, Gabri is could be in trouble a little bit.
The gap between Pub Dog and Gabri is 18 seconds.
Yeah, the pit lane isn't that long, apparently. And I do reckon Gabri will be ahead of him. I mean, the undercut is very strong around here. It's just how far ahead he will be, and of course, how much longer Pub Dog goes in this tire. He has all the options right now. He could choose to go quite long,
well,
and then have a big tire advantage in the end.
He can take the hards now and go safe. Like Gabri.
Yeah, I mean, the thing, if he pits 1 lap after Gabri, sort of gives up all the advantage he had. So I think in this position, I would go a lot longer now. Really to get a tire advantage in the 2nd stint. And then drive back up towards the rear of Gabri. And just re-overtake him with a tire advantage. And then Gabri can't really do much. Because if he just pits now, all he's done is give Gabri the track position back. And has no real tire advantage. And yeah, Pub Dog is going to stay out for longer. Lanky Brown re-overtaking Flavors down towards turn 1. Those two swapping pretty much every lap now.
Gabri gets past Bazooka.
Bazooka into the pit lane. Which is quite early actually, because Bazooka of course starting on that hard tire onto another set of the hard. So well, Bazooka on a
so
2-stop stretch. Yeah, Bazooka has to box again later on. With a terrain forming here, behind Lanky, we've got Flavors, Aussie, Pix and Cuckoo. All in range in this battle for the podium spots from 2nd to 6th. Then there's a bit of a gap to Edwin and Sully. JM in that train as well. Gary is now caught up to the back of Jill's Valentine as he comes into the castle section. So he's gonna have to try and pass him down towards turn 1.
Is 14 seconds.
Oh, he's already gained 4 seconds. Yeah, the undercut is crazy. But then of course that means also the overcut will have a similarly strong effect. I mean, how much tire does Gary have by now, do you know?
By now, Gary has 6%, Pub Dog 47.
Yeah, 6%. I mean, so that's about 3% on up, and that is the advantage that the Pub Dog will have to the end of the race as soon as he makes his pit stop. And I think he will use that to get back towards Gabri. I mean, Gabri of course has to contest with a lot of traffic as well, which Pub Dog likely won't have to do. Swaps for 5th as Kuko is getting past Pix in the DRS train. Gabri's gotten past Jill's Valentine. Sully has gotten past Edwin. 3 overtakes happening at once, and I didn't catch a single one of them.
So, Sully has 4% more than Cuckoo, despite pitting on the same lap. So I'd reckon that Jay has about 27, 28.
You think Jay can make the end?
I think he can.
Oh, Jay! With a massive slide coming out of the chicane there. Thankfully he caught that. And now the 3-second time penalty as well. Gabri now catching up to a big DRS train here. Edwin, JM and Always, and Sully not too far ahead of that either. And this is what I mean, this traffic will definitely cost him time. Especially now that it's multiple cars rather than just one. It won't be as easy to overtake them with the DRS. And that is the advantage that I think Pub Dog has. He can wait a bit longer and maybe pit into a clean air gap more easily. But of course he can't go on forever. Every single lap that he stays out is lap that is time that Gabri gains. And he'll have to try and catch back up later on. I'm about to see Flavors, I think, re-overtake Lanky once more.
And Cuckoo overtakes Aussie.
Yep, no DRS for Aussie. That no, he does have DRS. And Flavors outbreaking Lanky on the outside line to turn 1. Cuckoo is up into 4th. JM gets past Edwin. Gabri on the inside of Always, and he can brake so much later. Always actually goes off for the first corner. Misses braking, but I mean, Gabri broke later, made the corner, and Always, and he had the inside line, so he has to brake earlier for that as well. And still easily made the corner, while Always tried to match his braking point and just went straight on. That is the difference in tires around this track.
Pub Dog's tires are gone, he lost a second.
Yeah, Flavors and Lanky. Oh, Gabri just went in the wall. That was a nasty sound, but nothing actually happened to his car. Yeah. I was on board with him. He turned in for turn 3, and I heard like a massive hit, but nothing happened. His car didn't have any like impact visually.
Both tires are shredded.
Gabri's losing lots of time behind Edwin here in the middle sector. This must be really frustrating. I mean, he's losing seconds.
And he's fighting it, of course.
At this point, Gabri just has to wait for the DRS zone. There's nothing better you can do if he overtakes him here. Everyone will just re-overtake. Flavors has gapped Lanky out of DRS range, so Flavors now safely into P2 for the moment. And almost in DRS range Pub Dog himself. Gabri, don't overtake Edwin before DRS, you massive knob. You massive knob.
Maybe
if he gets re-overtaken now, he's gonna be kicking
Pub Dog still stays out.
Oh my god. Gabri, you are a silly man, and Edwin is gonna go back up the inside and overtake him.
Is he? Yeah.
Gabri with the switchback. And once again, he gives Edwin the DRS, but at least now there's one corner here where he can use his tires. And look at the traction difference, so I think he's still safe. But still, he made it more difficult than it had to be by making the move too early. JM gets past Sully.
And secret Gabri.
And Papdog has now firmly been caught. Flavors in his DRS range,
Yes,
then Lanky, Kuko, Aussie, Pix all have caught up to Papdog as his mediums have gone off the cliff.
Yeah, 66%. Like, just saying, the rear right is 66, the front are under 20%.
The gap to Gabri at this point is 7.5 seconds.
10 seconds lost. Even with traffic.
Yeah, and Gabri had crazy traffic. I mean, he just lost like 2-3 seconds in that lap behind Edwin.
Last lap from Gabri was 1:46.0. Still a second faster than Papdog.
Yeah, what was Gabri's... Yeah, Gabri went from 42.4 to 46.0. He lost 3.5 seconds with Edwin. And now Papdog will be overtaken by Flavors. He's very close behind
If he
him.
doesn't pit, which should.
Flavors will pass him before he pits. And Flavors takes lead of the race, but I think Papdog's gonna come into the pit lane now, yes.
Yeah.
And that is Lanky following him in, Kuko and Flavors still staying out, Aussie staying out, Pig staying out.
Gabri gets past Sully. Or not.
I think Gabri overtook Sully before the DRS and then Sully overtook.
Again.
Yeah, he did it twice in 2 laps now. And he goes Papdog out the pit lane. Literally side by side with Lanky in the pit lane. And he comes to the pits in P10. Jules Valentine is in as well. And Gabri now really takes Sully with the DRS into turn 3. Gabri now with a 5-lap tire disadvantage over the guys who put it this lap.
45%. I mean, he can try to make it.
I'm not sure if it's worth. I mean, you saw how much time Gabri gained. I think the guys who made a pit stop now are just gonna catch up to him. I mean, the gap from Flavors, which is essentially the same as from Kuko, to Papdog is 17.5 seconds. That means you need to catch like 1.5 seconds a lap. Honestly,
The first tire?
easy.
Possible.
Easily possible. It's such a long track. 1.5 seconds a lap with the tire difference the way that it is around Baku. Nothing. The right strategy I think definitely is for Flavors, Kuko, Aussie and Pix to pit again, and Sully as well, always as well, Edwin as well. As Kuko makes a move on Flavors. DRS enabled for him as well.
And
But Kuko goes into the pit lane and same goes for Flavors. Aussie in as well, and so is Pix. JM staying out still. Sully is in. Always still staying out. Edwin is still staying out. We've got Lanky with the move on Papdog.
And Sully with the wing damage. Sounds getting repaired.
And Lanky Brown comes out in 5th place, the leader of this 2-stopping train.
As Gabri gets past JM.
Flavors and Kuko with a battle coming out the pit lane. And Flavors gets ahead of them, Ferrari man. And Aussie as well. Kuko has a terrible accident out of turn 2. Gets passed by both Flavors and Aussie. Crucially, Flavors not in the DRS, which Papdog has to put the foot down this lap and get it within 1 second to make sure he's safe from behind. And can attack as well, of course, up ahead. Because I do think this could be a battle for the race, and I don't think it's impossible for him to catch Gabri. Gabri's tires will be significantly slower. JM, always and Edwin, if they're going to the end, will definitely be caught by the guys behind.
13 seconds to Lanky. I'm not counting JM always or Edwin.
13 seconds in 10 laps. See, if Lanky and Gabri were of equal skill level, I would say that's definitely possible. The thing is, not even being mean to Lanky, they just aren't. Especially around a track like Baku, we saw the gap in qualifying, and we know
also
Gabri's pace.
If there are people who fight like crazy, it's not gonna help them.
This as well, they are gonna lose time with Edwin, Always and JM if those guys are going to the end, as it looks to be, because JM is still staying out. And of course they're gonna be fighting each other as well. That could cost them. And
I mean, JM he can make it.
Yeah, I think Always is in now. He's not gonna go to the end. Edwin is still staying out. I'm pretty sure Edwin and Jay are gonna try and make the end. And we have a battle at turn 1, that's Kuko and Aussie once more, as Kuko has pulled ahead. But it gives Aussie the DRS down towards turn 3. But not a lot of ERS for either of them.
Oh, Gabri, he lost the car.
Lanky is now stuck behind Edwin in the same way that Gabri was.
Don't do something
He's
silly,
caught him
mate.
at the end of turn 3, the worst possible moment, because now he has to wait the entire lap for the next overtaking opportunity, unless he forces something silly somewhere. Edwin is not going to let him through. It looks like Lanky though having a look out the inside, but no, he decides better off that one. And now we're in the castle section. Nowhere around here, and yeah, the gap to JM and Gabri up ahead is of course opening up quite a bit now. And these are crucial seconds lost in the fight for those podium spots against JM, against Gabri. And I think Edwin is sort of repaying Gabri for what he cost him. He's now costing everyone else behind that, because literally all the way down to Pigs, all the way down to 9th, everyone is losing time in Edwin right now.
Oh, this feels like a truly train.
Yeah, true. I think Edwin is going to lose 2 or 3 spots down the straight now. Lanky will get him, Papdog will get him, Flavors will probably get him as well. JM is now in the pits, so no one with the one stop to the end, apart from Gabri of course. But no one will pit on a safety car going to the end. Edwin burning all his battery, but he still can't defend from Lanky, and Papdog is on the outside as well. Edwin so late on the brakes, and he slams Lanky off the track. Papdog switches with the back foot turn 1. Flavors splits to on both of them. Lanky rejoins in 5th position. Thankfully, I think he got away without damage, but that was very questionable. Edwin got himself big damage, I think. And he's still ahead of Lanky. He has to let him go, surely. Edwin on the outside line into turn 3, and they make more contact, and Edwin is in the wall again. And I mean, that collision wasn't on Edwin, but I don't really understand what he's even trying to at this point. He's got all tires, wing damage. Why are you still battling? Especially after you smashed him off at turn 1, just let him go. Yeah, now he's letting everybody else go. I don't know what to say about that. Definitely made Lanky's life a whole lot harder for no reason. And now he's got JM behind him, Sully Bazooka as well. And JM, now with the traction on exit of the car section, gets ahead of Edwin, who goes in the wall once more. And Sully with the move into turn 15, holy shit! Crucially, I think Flavors has gotten Papdog out of DRS range, who himself's got Lanky out of DRS range. Or has he? Lanky's just not within DRS range, but Aussie does. They are all also on 0% battery, lads.
Speaks good path, Aussie.
No one has battery in this entire battle. Great.
Only one is 30.
Edwin is now in the pit lane. And this drops him down to
mate.
dead last by a mile. The gap from Gabri to Flavors now 12.5 seconds with 7 laps to go. I think we can confidently say that this is Gabri's raceman. And the strategy, even though I still think it was the wrong one, ended up working out quite nicely for him since he got that lovely undercut.
And pace advantage.
Yeah, and just that, I think if you put anyone else on Gabri's strategy, they're nowhere near a raceman. I think he should step much faster today. That it worked out so nicely. And the traffic worked out in his favor. Even though he had a lot of traffic, I think everybody else had even worse traffic. But Flavors is gaining rapidly. About a second a lap, I think.
7 laps.
I mean, if he gains 2 seconds a lap, it's on. But he needs to gain 2 seconds a lap on the man who is currently
well, the last lap was 2 seconds faster,
almost double the points of P2 in the standings.
And the tires for Gabi are at 40%, so if he takes care of those rears, it should be fine.
If you have a quick look, Gabri just went to the line. That lap for him was a 45.2. So Gabri lapping low 45s. Flavors is lapping low 43s, mid 43s. Yeah, I think Flavors doesn't quite have enough. As Lanky makes a move in Pub Dog, yeah. Flavors needs another half a second or so.
Again.
Which, I think that half a second or so is very much the driver skill that Gabri could have over Flavors.
And I think maybe that thing from Edwin cost him as well.
Yeah, surely, there was so much time with Edwin, of course. But then again, Gabri also lost a lot of time, specifically behind Edwin, but in traffic in general. So I think that equals out mostly. But I think in terms of the tire pace, Flavors has enough pace in the tire over Gabri's tires. It's just that the driver is now making the difference. Those few tenths a lap that Flavors needs, is what Gabri's pulling out with his pace that he has over the rest of the field. And it's worked out quite nicely for Gabri as well, that the driver's chasing him. I mean, the first driver chasing him that isn't racing also in Division 3 is Kuku down in 7th. And that isn't meant as a dig towards any of those guys in the top 6. They've got there on merit, they're having great races. But on outright pace, the driver leading the Division 2 championship by 27 points. Is of course faster than the guys racing in Division 3. But I mean, the gap is coming down fairly quickly. We're down at 8.8 now. I think this is on for Flavors, honestly. If he keeps that pace up, and I mean, Gabri could go off the cliff as well in the last couple of laps, we could genuinely see Flavors catch him. And the gap he has behind now to Lanky, Flavors is the only one who's challenging Gabri. As Pub Dog is going for the move on Lanky, down towards the first corner. Pub Dog has wing damage as well, the front right end plate on his car chopped off. Bazooka in the pit lane now for the second time, of course. He was on a hard strategy, so he had to come in again. JM has caught this train as well, but he has a 3-second time penalty, but he does have the best tires on anyone in this train. I'm just not sure the mediums will hold on nicely to the end. Mediums have a lot of wear around here.
Well, first off, you have to get past. It's in the S-train from 5 cars. So...
yeah, they've also recovered some ERS now. JM is a lot more than anybody else, but everyone has around 50 to 60%, so they've got something to defend with.
Something I want to say is I'm impressed by Pix.
Yeah, he's having a great race.
He could actually get a podium here.
Let's not jinx it. I mean, anyone in this train can get a podium. Pub Dog, Lanky, Pix, Kuku, Aussie, all have great chances of a podium. As I say that, Pub Dog has kept Lanky out of DRS range, and that could be Pub Dog's ticket onto the podium, I can't lie. Pix now needs to make sure he gets past Lanky on the main straight, and maybe he can use that DRS slingshot into the 1-second range to Pub Dog and keep the fight for P3 alive. But otherwise, Pub Dog can use this opportunity to get ahead and secure himself that podium.
Lanky just killed his tires. Somehow.
Has he got that much more wear than the cars around him?
I don't know, actually. That's the thing.
Oh, he just made a mistake. I mean, he lost like a second in one corner, I think. JM, also very close to Aussie, has a good run on him. And Pix is not gonna get Lanky to turn 1, it looks like. Oh, I mean, he has a look. JM having a look at Aussie as well. And yeah, Lanky lost a lot of time there at turn 1. I think actually Lanky almost got back into the DRS with Pub Dog himself. And then Pix sending up the inside, cost them both about half a second. I'm not sure it was too smart. Since if they were working together, they could definitely catch back up to Pub Dog, but it seems like they're battling instead. And Sully now is with a move on JM. Moves up into P8. Ferrari continuing their comeback drive up to 6th and 8th now. Kuku staring at the back of Pix and Lanky. The gap to Pub Dog opening up more and more by lap by lap. The gap from Flavors to Gabri at this point down to just 6 seconds. With 4 laps still to go, I'm fairly certain this is on for Flavors. I mean, what was the laps last time?
45-4 for Gabri, 45-44. Also a second difference.
second. Okay, I need a bit more than that, maybe.
Shane gets...
Jam gets back past Sully.
Did
The
Sully
gap
get
from
more
Lanky
wing
to Pop
damage?
is opened up by
He did.
another 1.5 seconds to lap.
Sully lost more of his wing.
And now Pix very close behind Lanky. I think this time around he will make the move on him. But Pop Dog has gotten away. Pop Dog is going to have this podium. Pix on 0% ERS, but still with the DRS has to run on Lanky to turn
Cuckoo
1.
goes free wide. Does he? Just gets past Lanky.
And they make contact at the exit of turn 1. Aussie slips through. Lanky now down to 7th. And Sully in the pit lane for a freshen of the softs, hasn't go the fast lap at least, but that wing damage you said, yeah, massive wing damage for Sully. It's going to cost him a chance at some solid points in this race.
For Lanky.
I don't think there was any problem with tires, you just had a collision out of turn 1, that's why he lost so many places.
Well,
the tires might be the reason he lost 1.5 seconds to Pop Dog.
Lanky has probably the same lap more, so I guess 35. Ish.
I don't think you can do the calculation that easily because the tire wear is so different driver to driver. Yeah.
Because I can't see it. That's the thing, but...
Yeah, I think for the drivers don't share the data, just guessing. And we've got a yellow flag for Owise, had a spin. Coming off the air section. Recovered the car though, and he's still running in P10. And Lanky, yeah, Lanky's definitely lacking pace. I think you are right. He's caused a lot of wear on that tire. He's been a bit too aggressive on those rear tires. Because now that Pix is leading this train, they are once again keeping pace with Pop Dog. And when Lanky was leading that train, just 1 lap ago, they lost 2 seconds. Gap in the leaders down to 5.5. 3 laps to go. That isn't enough for Flavors. He needs to gain a lot more than that. I think Gabby might just about hold on. Kuko now moves up to 4th. And JM with the move on Lanky in the first corner. Moving up to P7. But with the DRS in turn 3, I think Lanky is going to give up on this. Always now in the pit lane. So he might have picked up wing damage with that mistake he had in the caster section. And Sully is back in the pits. Again. Still with wing damage. They didn't change his wing last time, it looks like. And that puts Bazooka into the points. And Sully is crawling into the pit lane.
Yeah, because he's changing the settings, I reckon.
And now Sully retires in the race as well. Puts an end to his misery.
Gabi at 58%.
Yeah, Gabi will hold on. I think Flavors is gonna run. He needs 2 seconds left from here, which he just won't get. For a moment it looked like he could have gotten him, but then he lost that little bit of pace that he needs now at the end. And I mean, even if he were to catch up to him now by 2 seconds lap, he still needs to make an overtake on the last lap, which is gonna be tough. Because Gabi has got a lot of ERS charge. Kuko's gapped Pix in the battle for 4th. Or has he? I mean, Pix is hovering at 1 second. I think he's just outside at her detection point, crucially.
Yeah,
that's going to secure Kuko P4 in this race. JM now with the runner Aussie. And moves up to P6 out on track. Of course, a significant time penalty will be applied in the end. That could cost him a few places still.
As of right now, he would be 8.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure he can gap Lanky since his pace seems to drop off a cliff in these last couple of laps. So 1.5 laps to go. Gabri 3.5 seconds clear of Flavors. If he doesn't make any major mistakes, this should be his race. He just needs to bring it home to the end calmly. He's managed that tire really well to keep enough life in it at the end to just about hold on. I think a lap, maybe 2 more, and he would have no chance. But a bad strategy by Gabri. He made work to perfection anyway. That race is not Gabri's to win, really. The strategy call was very much the wrong one, but he made it work. Nonetheless, went as long as needed to on that first medium. And now coming onto that last lap, he's got 3 seconds, well 2.9 to Flavors. Flavors might just about sneak within the DRS range. I mean, he gained 1.2 that lap, he's not going to gain 2 next lap. But even if he does, he will not be anywhere near close enough to make that move on the run down towards the line. So this race is absolutely Gabri's to win, as we head onto the last lap. We've got a few battles still going on. JM is in DRS range to pick. Jules Valentine has caught Lanky Brown in the battle for 8th. But other than that, it's all quieted down. At the end, the train separating a little bit. Everyone's settling into their own pace. And the main difference, I think, at the end is the tire management. You saw it. Drivers dropping a lot of pace, coming and going through the stints, and yeah, dropping from the trains they were in early on. So it shows it's very crucial on a track like Baku to be really nice to those rear tires, especially. Well, really, the fronts, I think, don't think the fronts matter, honestly. You have no wear on the fronts.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, you could
like
flick the car into every corner, it wouldn't matter at all. You just have to be so careful with the rear tires, get the brake bias forward, do a bit of lift and coasting, be nice on the throttle, nice and gentle. And Jules Valentine now picks up a 3-second time penalty, and that's going to cost him his chance of a P8, unfortunately for him. And with that, the battles on the track are all irrelevant. JM will not get picks, and Jules Valentine will not get lanky with the penalties applied. We head into the last corner. We've got a yellow flag, and Jules Valentine has crashed. And that ruins his chances of a P8 on track as well. Gabri comes around the last corner, 2 seconds clear of Flavors, and indeed, I think one more lap he would have held on, 2 more laps would have been enough for Flavors to catch him. But Gabri is going to be your winner of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. He further increases his championship lead here in Season 18 of Division 2. What a season he's having, what a start he's having to this year. And Flavors celebrates his P2 as well across the line. Pop Dog celebrates the P3. Everyone is happy on the podium. Kuko brings home with 4th place. Look at that in the background. JM going up against the wall. It's not quite enough with the penalty, of course. And Aussie beats him as well with the penalty applied. JM in the end in 7th place. Lanky in 8th. And Jules Valentine is going to bring the car home in P9. Gets 2 points for himself, with Bazooka rounding out the top 10 in the end. Always not able to catch back up after the pit stop. And the fast lap of the race, it looks like it's going to go to Always, unless Edwin's going to beat this lap, which I doubt. Is this Edwin's push lap?
He is, yeah.
No, this is push lap. Okay, I thought you already did this push lap. So Edwin could steal fast lap away from Always right in the end, and get himself that bonus point at least to come home with something out of this Grand Prix. And the fast lap does go to Edwin. The full 25 points to Gabri, and his championship lead increases massively once again. Both his main title rivals, Sean and Bobodinho, well, gapped even further. I'm not sure who even is P2 at this point. Whoever it is, they are absolutely miles behind. And it's going to need a bit of a miracle now to catch Gabri. We're in a similar situation as we were last season, with Sully being so far ahead after a few races. Although I think for Gabri it's even earlier that he's pulled so far clear than Sully did. And this could finally be his season, you would think. And yeah, a big fat 0 for both Bobodinho and Sean in this race. Of course, Sean not even racing. Next after that is Viral, who's not racing. Staff, Reserve, not racing. Then Bazooka, who scored 1 point. I think Pix might be 2nd place now. Well,
Okay,
he had 20 points, he now has 30. No, it's Pop Dog. Pop Dog has 31. And Gabri has 85.
Yeah.
So 85 against 31, a 54-point gap after 4 rounds of the season.
Nothing is impossible.
I mean, there's still so many races to go, and nothing is impossible. It's just that is one hell of a. I mean, for one, it's an amazing start for Gabri, and no one like other drivers are having good races. No one is having like individual good races. No one is having good races, like plural. No one is
Or like
racking up
just
points.
missing the races.
Yeah,
Right, one
everyone's
race,
missing races or scoring
One
0
again.
in one and then 25 the other. No one is putting up a consistent fight with Gabri, and that's allowed him to pull so far clear early on, of course. I mean, he has won these races very deservedly. It's just no one else even picking up those P2s to stay close. It's always a different driver in second place, which shows the competitiveness of Division 2. But then again, we all know Division 2. We all know how it is. We expected exactly that and nothing different. And no, it was a great race. Good fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Not as chaotic as Division 3, which I expected as well. But some good racing, some good battles. Strategy was interesting. Kept us guessing if Gabri would make the end of the race before being caught. And in the end, he did make it a bit more comfortably than I maybe would have thought. But it wasn't out of the question, and I do still think if, say, a Sully or Kuko or a Sean, any one of those top Division 2 drivers, not to dissuade Flavors at all, he had great pace today, but I don't think he will disagree if I say that those guys are a step above him pace-wise. They would have caught back up to Gabri, but those guys, they made mistakes in the race, and didn't even attend the race, and therefore didn't put themselves in that position. So it's a very deserved second place for Flavors, and 18 points going his way, which is great to see. Very nice to see some of those guys who are usually further down the midfield getting their spot in the sun. But Gabri just, a step too far away today, it seems. I mean, after getting pole position by 8/10, I think didn't need a genius to predict that he would also win the race. Anything left to say from your side on that race?
No, just looking forward to next season's Spa. Like another low downforce track. So I'm still wondering what wings Gabi had. Like he was so fast on the straight.
I do think they were quite low. Yeah, we have to ask him about that actually. Yeah. Next week, the Belgian Grand Prix, Spa-Francorchamps, one of the most iconic tracks on the Formula 1 calendar, and a venue that's going to produce for sure a good race as well. So, yeah, of course, the Division 1 Azerbaijan Grand Prix this Saturday as well, 7:30 p.m. UK. Should be streamed, I imagine. Gabri at least hasn't said he won't be there, so I guess he will be. Yeah, I've said all I need to say. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much, PCMD, for joining me. Thank you to the drivers for putting on a good race for us. And have a good evening, everyone. And see you next week in Belgium. Goodbye.